Welcome back on this channel. Today we're gonna be doing the 10 art style challenge, which is an art challenge in which you have to pick a character and then turn it into different art styles from maybe artists that you like. For my character, I'm gonna be taking Aurora, which is an OC that I created based in a fairy tale kind of world. She's actually a sleeping beauty in that world. I haven't really developed the story yet because I'm working on a webcomic right now, and I think it's gonna be a subject for a future video because I'm currently drawing the pages and I'm waiting until I have enough backlog to start posting, just so that I don't get caught up in things and don't have anything to post time for the updates. So yeah, I tried to keep her design relatively simple. I decided to go for just a bust shot so that it would take less time to make. But since she's wearing cornrows, the braids were a challenge because not every art style that I picked had actual references for those. So yeah, sometimes they kind of look similar from one art style to the other, just because I didn't really have enough reference, unfortunately. So this right here that you're seeing is my actual art style, my version of my character. And we're gonna hop on the first art style, which is gonna be Peach Riot. So Peach Riot is actually a fictional girl band. It's also a collection of like blind boxes that you can find in Pop Mart. The creator of these girls is called Libby Frame, and you can find them on multiple social media, I believe. And yeah, I really like this art style. I think it's super cute. I'm not really into blind boxes and figurines in general, but if I had to choose some, it would probably be those. Just because I really like the different outfits and how their personality. There are 3 characters. I like how they have a different personality and then it shows on their faces and the way that they are dressing and all that kind of stuff. For my drawing, I put it here in first because I don't actually like it. I think it turned out to be my least favorite just because I'm used to making very clean line arts, and I would say this style is way more sketchy, so having a line that is misplaced is part of the beauty of this art style, I would say. And so it was kind of hard for me to emulate that into my study. For that reason, I don't think that I really like it. Also because I was struggling to find references for the braids as I said earlier. Yeah, funny thing is that I actually accidentally deleted the first file because some weeks ago Procreate had an update, and I think that it was glitching a little because I tried to duplicate the file to have save, and I ended up like deleting the wrong thing. So yeah, it was a little frustrating. So when I had to redraw it a second time, I think that I kind of lost motivation. For the second design, we're gonna be doing Marionetta, which is a webcomic that is available on the Webtoon by the creator called Mariam Bonastour. I'm sorry for the name, I can't pronounce it, but I'm gonna put it up on screen. It's quite a famous webcomic actually. I love the art style. I think that I discovered it when it went on hiatus for the next season, so it was quite recent actually, but I really like the story, the characters, and the way that they are using magic in this world is close to Witch Hat Atelier, which is a manga that I really like. For the braids, I reference the main character that had a similar hairstyle. I mean, she's wearing braids, so I tried to do the same for my character. And overall, I think that I did okay. If we tried to place her maybe in like a crowd or something, maybe nobody could notice that she's not part of the webcomic actually. I don't know. But yeah, I like how she turned out. I think she's cute. So next up we have Carmen Sandiego, which is a series that is produced by Netflix. I think it was created in 2018, but while making a little research, I discovered that it's way older. I think it was created around like 1985, and it had multiple web series and video games, and yeah, it's just way older than I thought it was. I used to watch it some years back, but I don't actually remember a lot about the plot. I rewatched some episodes recently, and I really like the art style. I think it's super cool. And I think it's in the first and second episodes, there's a fight scene in the rooftops of Paris, and I loved the backgrounds so much. It's so pretty. I really love it. I really like the way she turned out. I think that all the geometrical shapes and everything look just super pretty. And although I didn't have any reference for the braids, I try to add the details with a lighter color because I think that they are doing that a lot in the show. I really like how she turned out. The next one is Nimona, which is also a movie that is produced by Netflix. It was actually supposed to be produced by another studio, but I think they had multiple issues, also like financial problems and stuff, so the movie almost never came out, and fortunately Netflix bought the production, and so they have been able to bring it to life. And it's really a movie that I love, both for the visuals and the story. I think it's super cool. I wish they had more time to work on it because, yeah, originally it was supposed to be something that was way more spectacular, I would say. But because of all the troubles they had to make some decisions. But overall, the show is still, the movie is still really cool. I actually duplicated her braids in the first place just because I was feeling a little lazy. But later, I went back and I actually fixed it because it really didn't look the way that I wanted to. So, yeah, also, there are some lines that I added under her eyes because I wanted to, show that she's smiling, so the cheeks are moving up a little, but I don't think that it looks like she's smiling. It just makes her look older. And the shape of her face is very round, and that just makes her look younger. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I could have done better. But, yeah, she's fine, I guess. So, the next art style, I called it Chibi thing, something, you name it. It's just, it was originally supposed to be something a little more complicated, but since I had to make so many drawings, I just kind of wanted to switch it up to something simpler. So I found this eye tutorial that is made by Mokabila. I checked their Instagram, and apparently they haven't been around since 2021, so I don't actually know if they switched usernames or whatever, but yeah, that's the credit name that is on the tutorial if you want to check out their page. For the lips and hair, I didn't take any reference. I just wanted something a little more self-indulgent because it was really a lot of artworks to make for this video. But yeah, I thought that the eye was very different from what I'm used to doing. Basically, I've been told before that my art style is close to webcomic art style or anime art style, but I never drew eyes with that many details in it. So, but it was really fun. I think it turned out really cute. It's not really like my personal preference, but it's pretty. I do think she turned out cute. Next style is Nevermore. Nevermore is a webcomic available on Webtoon made by Kid Trace and Kate Flynn, and I love the way that the faces are stylized, as well as the environment, and just the story itself is really, really good. So if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's got really cool vibes, and I think that it's very well emulated in the backgrounds and the lighting and such. So yeah, I was really excited for that one. Now for my character, I kind of regret I didn't give her a rounder face, because I feel like she doesn't really look like the version of her that I have in mind. But when you're looking at the characters from the webcomic, they kind of all have this elongated face. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. The eyes as well are maybe not as round as I wanted them to be, but for the nose I tried to make it a little rounder, because I imagine my character having kind of like wider nostrils. For her braids, I reference Morella, a character from the webcomic. I don't really want to spoil I won't spoil at all, but at some point in the comic she gets an outfit with long braids, and so I took this picture as a reference for the braids of my character. And for the baby hair, I referenced Berenice, which is a character that is put on the canvas, I believe, and I think it turned out really cute. I really love how it looks. The one thing that kind of killed the vibe, in my opinion, is my rim light. It's like this very light color that you add around the silhouette of the character so that it can read better against a dark background. That's something that the artists are doing a lot, and my mistake was trying to give too much details inside the braids, while I think that the artist would just outline, So yeah, I don't know. One thing that I also noticed is how they are using a technique that is called photo bashing, which is when you take a picture and you insert it in the drawing itself. Some artists are doing a lot of paint over, so they are covering the image, so it's not really that noticeable. But in Nevermore, it's mostly used for backgrounds, but it can be noticeable if you pay close attention, especially in the earliest episodes. And so just to reference that a little, I added some patterns on the dress of my character, especially on the white areas, and I tried to put a velvety material on the dark pink part of the dress, but I don't think it reads that well in the end. But yeah, I think it still looks fine. I really like how it turned out. I think she looks cute. Next up, we have Gloamingvale. Gloamingvale is the name of a webcomic again that is created by the artist Cosmic Spectrum, that you can find on Instagram and YouTube. And she's actually one of my favorite artists. I've been following her for a while now. I own one of her art books as well as one comic that she made some time ago. And she recently started her own webcomic that you can find on her website. I'm gonna put a link somewhere so you can find it. And yeah, I love the way she stylizes faces, environments. She's just the best. I love her outside so much, so I wanted to try this out. And going in, I think that I drew the eyes a little too big, so you're gonna see, but later I take the liquify tool and I kind of force the image to make the eyes smaller, if that makes sense. But yeah, also you're gonna see me draw next to my references, and the reason for that is because I zoom quite a lot when I'm drawing, and so when I zoom too much, I don't have my references inside anymore. So for the details that I feel need more attention, I actually draw them very close to their reference, just so that I can like check my reference and draw at the same time without having to zoom in and zoom out too much. Yeah, and for the rose on my character's necklace, Cosmic Spectrum actually draws quite a lot of roses, so I tried to replicate her style. I think that if you don't look too close, it looks fine, but as soon as you zoom in, it just doesn't look like it at all. Two other things that are very specific of her art style are the stray hairs that I tried to add, and the lighter color that is added on top of everything. It's actually, if you use Procreate, it's called the 6B pencil, but it's like some textured lighter brush strokes just to add a little bit of texture. Now, something that I didn't really manage to translate in my drawing is the way that her shadows are sometimes smooth and sometimes sharp, because I think that I struggled to find the balance between the two, and I kind of made all my shadows very smooth, and so yeah, I think that it's something that I could have improved, but no, I really like how she turned out overall. So this drawing is actually the one that inspired me to make this video. Some days ago I tried to draw in Arcane's art style, and I spent so much time on it that I kind of hate it now, but yeah, I'm overall happy with the result just because I surprised myself with this one. If you know my art style, it relies heavily on line art, and Arcane has an art style that is just like only digital painting, which is a technique that I don't know very well. I've done it at school, but I never really felt like it was meant for me, so trying this out was really a challenge, and yeah, it was great. I think that I learned a lot about rendering faces and such. I don't really think that I made a good job with the hair and the clothes. I told myself that I would stop here just because I was starting to hate my art. If one day I just want to try it again, maybe I will try to focus more on hair and clothes, but yeah. I also took a picture from a flower from Victor's garden in season 2 to make the rose, because you're gonna see at the beginning that I kind of freestyle it, and when I went back I just hated the way that it looked, so I actually took a real reference. There is no roses in Arcane, I don't think so, but I tried to reference a flower that had some like a pattern with a bunch of spots and stuff. So I tried to do that on the rose, and then I also used a pattern brush for the earrings, because I had it and I just wanted to test it out since it's like semi-realistic. I really like how the face turned out. I think that copy pasting the hair wasn't the greatest idea I had, but like I said, I spent so many time on this, I just wanted it to be over, so I kind of sped up the process with that, but yeah, maybe it wasn't really a good idea in the end. But it was a challenge, and I'm happy that I managed to do something that is pretty decent, honestly. Like I said, I really like the way her face turned out, and if I ever want to try this style again, then I already learned a lot about it by doing this. So yeah, that's great. And then we have the very last art style, which is LavenderTowne. She's a YouTuber and a comic artist, and like an artist in general. Yeah, she's pretty popular on YouTube, so maybe you already know her. what makes her style so recognizable is the way that she draws irises, like it's shaped in objects and such. For my character, it looked a little off when I tried to make her irises both rose shaped, so I gave her one eye with the rose and the other one more like a regular shape, I would say. Looking back at it, I think that her eyes could have been even bigger and take like more space on the face, but overall I think it looks close enough. I really like the way that she draws the blush of her characters as well. I think it's super cute, and the round shaped eyebrows are also really cool. So yeah, I like the way this one turned out. It was super fun. And with that, it concludes the series of 10 art styles. So tell me in the comments which style was your favorite, because I'm a little curious to know. And if you're an artist, I really recommend trying this challenge out, just because by trying to understand somebody else's workflow, you might discover some new techniques that you want to put into your own way of drawing. So it's always interesting to discover new techniques. And if you are looking for something else to watch next, you can click on the video on screen, which is an animatic that I made with the characters from my webcomic, and hopefully I'm gonna be talking about it soon on this channel, so stick around if you want to learn more.